What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for listening. So today I am here to talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin became the most successful head black coach in the NFL, the most successful black head NFL coach in league history. He passed Tony Dungy in the wins list. Mike Tomlin has a Super Bowl. He has 140 wins over his 14-year career as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL. And it brings up this question that we get a lot of times, but why aren't there more black NFL head coaches? And, because 75% of the NFL, between 70 and 75% of the NFL any given year is black. But right now, there's only 3 black head coaches. You got Mike Tomlin, his Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-0. He's never had a losing season. He has the most wins for a black man at the head coaching position in the NFL. You got Brian Flores, who's doing an amazing job down in Miami. They also have a black GM, and they're doing spectacular. They just started a Tua Tagovailoa, the Hawaiian quarterback. And then you have Anthony Lynn, who is the black head coach out with the Los Angeles Chargers. They have a really good team, but Anthony Lynn, it looks like he might lose his job because they keep losing, and they haven't played they have a lot of injuries, but they haven't played the way they probably should have. Now, like I said, it bodes the question because we have the Rooney Rule, and we have all these stipulations that you have to do to, you have to basically interview a minority candidate every single time you hire a head coach in the NFL. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload it all the time. So why aren't there more Mike Tomlins in the league, right? And there's a few reasons why Mike Tomlin is an outlier when it comes to head coaching. And he shouldn't be, but it's very sad. But, Mike Tomlin has been with Pittsburgh, one of the best organizations in the entire league, the 6 Super Bowls, and he's been there 14 years, his 14th season. But here's the reason why Mike Tomlin is an outlier as far as staying in one place for that long and having that much success as compared to other black coaches who barely get a chance to wipe their nose before they're fired and they never get another chance to become a head coach in the league. One, like I said, black coaches, when they get fired, 9 times out of 10, they don't get another chance, right? So once they leave their first job, they don't get another chance to get another head coaching job. A lot of them get hired as coordinators or assistants or position coaches, but they don't get another chance at becoming head coach. Ask Leslie Frazier, ask Raheem Morris, I could go down the line. There's a big number of guys. Tony Dungy got a couple chances. He was with the Bucks and then won a Super Bowl with the Colts. And Mike Tomlin's never been fired. But most black coaches in the NFL, and even in college football, even if we take it down a level, they don't get another chance of becoming a head coach. And that right there is just sad. So that's number 1 issue. 2, what happens when you get a new coach? 9 times out of 10, the reason why a team is getting a new coach is because their previous coach was bad and their team was bad. So what are they normally doing? They're rebuilding, right? So when you take over a rebuilding franchise, that means your team is bad. And you have to have time to help rebuild the franchise. You have to have time to try to get the team on the right track. So that means drafting your own players, implementing your system, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, and getting the right assistants. And most importantly, you have to have a quarterback. And when you're on a rebuilding team, you either have a bad quarterback and you're in the draft finding a new one, and in the draft you have to hit on said quarterback. And if you don't hit on that quarterback, or even if you hit on the quarterback and you don't have enough time to rebuild the team, the offense, the defense, the special teams around said quarterback and around the personnel that you have and get your personnel to fit your scheme, you're not going to be successful. So a lot of these black head coaches go to these teams that aren't very good, that don't have good quarterbacks, that don't have great structure. That's why they're bad. That's why they're getting a new coach, and they don't get enough time to implement the right guys, implement the personnel, implement their system. The coach for the Arizona Cardinals, I can't even think his name right now. He got 1 year, and was fired. Now, whether you think that was right, I talk about the Cardinals a lot because I like the Cardinals. They're one of my favorite teams. And that might even have been the right move. But think about it. He'll never get another chance probably to be another head coach, be a head coach again. Because they'll look at what he did. They were unsuccessful. They had the number 1 pick in the draft. And then they come in and bring Cliff Kingsbury with a quarterback and with personnel like DeAndre Hopkins to implement around his system, and now they're being successful. That's no knock on Cliff Kingsbury, but that's the way the NFL works. Todd Bowles down in New York. The Jets are a mess. The Jets were a potential playoff team when Todd Bowles was there. They fired him because whatever reason, you fired Todd Bowles, and now you're bringing Adam Gase, who hasn't done anything in the league. He was in Miami, got fired. He was terrible in Miami. You bring him into New York Jets, and now he's terrible again. And he's running that train. The Jets they weren't the best team. They were in, obviously the division was New England's, but the Jets were a 7, 8, 9-win team under Todd Bowles. And now they're running completely into the ground under Adam Gase. Like, you can't be serious, man. Like I said, Mike Tomlin is an outlier. He's never had a losing season, but listen, look at why he's never had a losing season. He came into the league, he had Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger, who was a Super Bowl champion, by the way, by the time Mike Tomlin took over the organization. Also, this wasn't a rebuilding team. Bill Cowher retired after a Super Bowl, after a Hall of Fame career. Retired after a Super Bowl, after a Hall of Fame career. So Mike Tomlin was promoted to the head coaching job of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that team was built and ready to win. And what does he do in his first couple of years? He wins a Super Bowl because his team was built to win already. Most black coaches aren't walking into a situation like that. That is a rare outlier. And all Tomlin has done since then, he hasn't won another Super Bowl. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, I will say that. But he's been to another one, and he's never had a losing season. Even when his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, was hurt. Even when Ben Roethlisberger's missed games, they've never lost more than 8 games. They've always been 500 or above. And this year, they're the last undefeated team in a legit Super Bowl bubble, a legit Super Bowl contender. So, I say all that to say this. The players, just like they demanded, just like they demanded, or they get upset about voting, how they demanded the NFL and the NBA and stuff push voting. If you don't want to start your league, I get it. You don't want to start our own league or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you have to force the issue. You have to force teams to hire black coaches, black personnel, black GMs, put black people, because guess what? The owners are going to do it by themselves. What do most people do? They hire people that look like them or that resemble them. These black men don't resemble these owners. These black men don't resemble most of the GMs. So you have to force the issue. If you're not going to force yourself to have a league, that's cool. Whatever. You do what you want with your money. The NFL pays well. If you want to do that, do that. But you have to force the issue. Just like you forced them to push voting propaganda, just like you forced them to do things, just like the NBA forced the bubble and walked off the court and had demands or whatever, however you feel about that, you can do the same thing when pushing for black men to get head coaching jobs in the league. And that's what you have to do, because there are other Mike Tomlins out there. There are other success stories. There are other black Hall of Fame coaches in waiting right now that are either in the NFL or that want to be a part of the NFL. But we have to force the issue. That's just my thoughts on that. Congratulations to Mike Tomlin being the most successful black coach in the history of the league. And I think there are other Mike Tomlins, probably in the NFL right now. But folks have to force the issue. That's all I have to say. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.